Hi guys, my name is Shae And Gus for those of you who don't know me, and I'm going to Mount Everest. So most of you guys probably don't know who I am unless you came from my Facebook page or my Instagram. But my name is Shae and I am 17 years old and a senior in high school, and I am trekking up to Mount Everest Base Camp in Nepal for a charity trip. And the organization that I'm going through is called the Hope for Gus Foundation, which was a foundation started by a family friend named Tanya Dreyer. Her son Gus has Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Gus is 12 years old and he was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when he was very, very young. Duchenne muscular dystrophy only runs in boys, and it is a fatal disease ultimately, and there is no cure found for it yet. So that is what I am doing this charity trek for, along with others, is we're going to be raising money and awareness for this disease that Gus has and many other little boys. So what is Duchenne muscular dystrophy? Duchenne muscular dystrophy is a disease that runs in boys, and it pretty much is the deterioration of your muscles. So their muscles kind of break down at a very quick pace, meaning that most of them are unable to walk by the time they are 13. So Gus is nearing 13 now, but he can still walk a little bit. He will just most likely be bound to a wheelchair by the time he is 15 years old. Now, most of those who are diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy do die by the time they are 30 years old, just because the heart is a muscle, and so eventually that will stop working along with the lungs and most organs. So now that you know a little bit about me and a little bit about Duchenne muscular dystrophy, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Gus, because this YouTube channel is called Shae And Gus Go to Everest. So I'm going to go into what that means, because obviously Gus himself is not climbing up to Everest Base Camp. So Gus Dreyer is one of 3 children. He's the youngest. He has an older sister named Isabel, who is 1 year younger than me, so she's 16, and a brother named Abe, who is 14. Now, his mom, Tanya Dreyer, and his dad, Steve, started this foundation when they found out that Gus was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So Tanya organizes most of the events and charity trips for the Hope for Gus Foundation. This is actually the second Everest trip that has happened. The first one was 2 years ago in 2015, and actually my dad, Kent, went on that. And it was a very successful trip. All of the climbers made it up to base camp and everyone was safe. So it was just a really good way we found that we can raise money and awareness. So ever since I met Gus, it was extremely apparent that he just loved animals so much. He had tons of stuffed animals and would constantly be telling me facts about animals that even I didn't know, and he's quite a bit younger than me. And he actually wants to be a wildlife ecologist, so hopefully he will be able to do that in his lifetime, and his chances will be even greater if we raise money and awareness to find a cure for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So I live in a small town in northern Minnesota, but Gus actually lives in New Hampshire along with his family. Tanya was born where I live, so that's how we know her. She just ended up moving with her family to New Hampshire. So Gus and his family come and visit every summer, and we get to see them. We also vacation together occasionally. Alright, so as you have seen and as I've said, this channel is called Shae And Gus Go to Everest. So what that means is that Gus will be able to technically go to Everest, because I will actually be vlogging almost every day that I will be there. And vlogging is video blogging, for those of you who maybe don't know that. So I will be recording my experiences, the ups, the downs, literally going up and down the mountain while I'm in Nepal. So you guys will be able to go with us as well, and Gus will be able to go through the experience and everything through the camera. So this is the introduction video to the Shae And Gus Go to Everest channel. So I am very excited for all of you to watch those vlogs and see everything that we do there, because I know that this has happened to me where, you know, you hear these experiences that people have gone on and you wish, you know, you could have been there or seen what they were doing. And so I'm gonna give you and Gus a chance to see the whole Everest experience. So with going to Everest Base Camp takes a lot of training, preparation, education, and everything like that. So you really need to educate yourself on if you can do this physically, mentally, financially, anything like that. And training is extremely, extremely important. We are most of the time going to be walking 7 or 8 hours every single day, and that is going to be inclines and declines, so ups and downs. It will be difficult. Obviously, we will be stopping. We won't be trekking for 8 hours straight, but it is still a lot of walking and hiking. Also, there will be a high change in altitude. The altitude at base camp is around 19,500 feet, which is extremely different to here. The tallest mountain we have here is actually a steep hill. We don't have any mountains in Minnesota, really. Here, let me just check what the altitude is where I am right now. Yeah, the altitude where I am now is 830 feet, so that is a drastic difference, obviously. And so with that, it becomes harder to breathe, it becomes colder. Obviously, it's not as severe as when you are summiting Everest, but it is still difficult for flatlanders like me. So my mom and I have been going up and down that very steep hill. It's called Inspiration Peak. Been going up and down that like 8 times. She's actually off doing that right now, but I thought that I should stay behind and make this video. So a lot of training is required for going to Mount Everest Base Camp, and I have been doing that quite a bit. My dad and brothers actually went on a trip to Montana and Wyoming because that is a more mountainous area, and we did some hiking there, a lot of ATVing, and I actually vlogged that for you guys, so you guys can see that and kind of see what the Everest vlogs are gonna look like, except obviously that was in Montana and Wyoming, so it'll be a lot more interesting when we're actually in Nepal. So if you are interested enough, then go watch those. This video will be up before those are posted, but look out for those in the next couple of weeks. So we will be going to Everest on September 19th. It is like, let's see, a 30-hour flight, I want to say. Not straight, or not non-stop, but with the layovers and the stopping and the flight time, it's about 30 hours, so it'll be a long experience. I'm gonna vlog that for you guys as well. You might see me, you know, doped up on Benadryl so I can sleep on the plane, or just super out of it. I might show you like my weird airplane food, that's always fun. But yeah, I plan on fully including you guys in most of the stuff, even when I am, you know, probably crying at some point where I don't think I can do it. I'll probably vlog that as well if I am, you know, not disgusting looking, but you guys will be included in pretty much everything. So I wanted to just tell you that it's not going to be all of the, you know, like glam, pretty, cinematic shots. It's going to be like everything. So I'm not sure what the exact amount of people is that are going on this trip, but I know that 2 men that went last year are going. And Tanya, Gus's mom, is going. She went last year as well. And I know that there will be 2 people that are near my age, but I will definitely be the youngest. I'm 17. I think the next youngest is 19 or 20. But we are all going for the Hope for Gus Foundation to raise money and awareness, and every single dollar that each of us raise will be going to researchers who are trying to find a cure for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I will be going with my mom, Natalie, and she and Tanya have been friends probably since 8th grade. And my mom has done many things with the Hope for Gus Foundation with benefits and everything like that. And now she is going to Everest and made the decision to take me with her. So we'll have a little like mother-daughter team going. So each of the climbers, including me, have a GoFundMe page that you can find on my Facebook, my Instagram. I will link it in the description, and that is just where you can read slightly more in depth about why I'm doing this, some more facts about Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I think I covered most of it, but if you want to read like a paragraph that isn't me jumping all over the place, then go read that. And it would be so amazing and if any of you were generous enough to donate to that, or even just share it if you're on Facebook or something, so that more people can see it and learn about it and possibly donate. So one of the reasons that we are doing Everest as a part of this foundation and raising money is that climbing up to Everest Base Camp is an extremely difficult thing to do, both physically and mentally. And the reason why we chose to do that to ourselves is that all of these boys diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy have to go through that in their everyday life. It is very difficult for them physically, obviously, to walk and run and play like other kids, or if they are older, just to perform everyday tasks. It is very difficult for them. And we are trying to challenge ourselves because it is a challenge for those boys, and we hope that we can kind of personally understand what it is like to go through that, but also show that we are not just, you know, having a party or a benefit to raise money. We're actually doing something so that we can understand what it's like to be them, or at least try. Now, Gus was just here probably 2 weeks ago, and he gave me a list of things. Here, I have it here. So he gave me a list of things that he would like me to do for him while I'm in Everest, things that he can watch, and so it seems a little bit more personal, and things that he won't be able to do but I can do, and he can live through that. So I'm going to read a few of those to you because you guys are going to be watching me do all those things as well. Okay. So I've got it here, Gus's request. I don't know if you can see that. Please excuse my horrible handwriting. So remember when I told you that Gus loved animals? It definitely shows in this request. So let's see, we have go to the monkey temple, which is a temple where there are little monkeys running all around. So that should be extremely entertaining to watch. Here's one that is probably going to be the most demanding and challenging for me. It is pet all, emphasis on all. Pet all of the stray dogs. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but in that part of Asia, there are so many stray dogs. So I'm probably just gonna, at the end of it, have like a huge compilation of me just petting a whole bunch of dogs. But I hope you enjoy that. I'll enjoy petting the dogs. I also have to be on the lookout for chickens and red pandas, and I'm very excited that there are red pandas there. And those, if you don't know, are like raccoons that have red fur, but they look exactly like raccoons. So I really, really hope that I actually find a red panda. Another one that kind of involves animals, I think, if you want to consider this an animal, is find a Yeti footprint. Now, we are in Mount Everest. That is kind of an area where the Yeti was born and the Yeti is supposedly living. So I don't know, if I find a Yeti footprint, I might make a lot of money off of these vlogs. Another thing is eat momos. I'm not exactly sure what a momo is, but it is some sort of native food in Nepal. Yeah, so we'll find out what a momo is. Hopefully it's good. And yeah, those are just a few of the requests that Gus has that he can watch and be excited about, and hopefully you are excited to watch me do that too. Alright, so this is probably a decently long video since I had a lot of information on what I'm doing, because this is the introduction video. So hopefully you guys are still there. Props to you if you are. I'm sorry if I seemed awkward or if my sentences were extremely scattered at all. I am very new to YouTube and recording, and you will notice that in my Colorado/Wyoming vlogs. I apologize for the quality of those in the beginning, but I have a new camera now. I'm not recording on my iPhone anymore like I was in those vlogs. So hopefully you will stick around to watch the Everest vlogs. I really hope you do. I think that that's something that I personally would want to watch if I weren't going, just because I don't know how many people have in-depth recorded climbing to Everest Base Camp. like included all of the ups and the downs and everything, but I'm going to. So it would mean the world to me if you subscribed to this YouTube channel so you could stay tuned and liked this video. Leave a comment if you have any questions at all. I would be so happy to answer questions just in case I missed anything. And yeah, go watch those Colorado/Wyoming vlogs when they go up. And my GoFundMe page will also be linked in the down bar. I really hope that you check that out, and if you're generous enough to donate anything, I would so appreciate it. And even just a share on Facebook. Like, we're not only looking for just money. I mean, obviously that is a big part of it, but also just sharing that and getting the word out there that this is an issue. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the Colorado and Wyoming vlogs, and I will talk to you a little bit later. Bye!